Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with 6 for 6 finally. It's been such a long time. Last time we were on this glorious episode of our podcast, us, the fans of 6 for 6, was back in July. It was mind-boggling long time ago during the Women's World Cup. Congrats to Spain for winning that. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's college football season. The NFL's here. It's been months since we've been here to give you our picks. Our season 3 numbers are in the wash because not much has been going on for us. We've been lying dormant watching college football, but we haven't made episodes. But now, since we are approaching week 5 in the world of college football, I think we're long overdue to do some of our picks for 6 for 6. The best 6 for 6 piece. It's like going to McDonald's, getting a 6-piece McNuggets and saying, these are some mighty fine nuggets. That's what we got for today's games on 6 for 6. Let's look back at our record of where we are. So last episode, all the way back in July during the Women's World Cup, we were 3-2-1. Not too bad. So that improves our record to 22, 17, and 2. So keeping in mind that season 3 is it's very short. We only have 9 episodes. Yes, if we do it every week, we should be fine. But I've been thinking about on the lines of extending it into 2024 to make it a longer season so that we can get more episodes and give us a more flushed out number. Because if we look at season 2, we had almost 100 games selected and stuff like that. So these numbers are not helping us in that case that 30 something episodes that we had. I think season 3 can be a little bit longer, and we're going to go with it. We're going to let it ride into 2024, and then once we hit 2025, season 3 will be brought to a close, and then we will start season 4. But I've been also thinking about on the lines of this of carrying it through 2024, but stop when the sports stop after the NBA playoffs, and then season 4 picks up when college football resumes, which makes more sense because it gives us time to breathe, some vacation time in there. And we have the holidays and Christmas and all that stuff, so we get a mid-season break, and then we come back into later of the year. I think that's more strategic about doing this. Gives us some time to be well rested when we do it. So I think that is the tactic we may try going forward. We may revert back to it later and change it around, but I think that's how we're going to proceed with 6 for 6 going forward. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off this week's episode of 6 for 6. It seems like the screenshots that I were saving didn't save properly, so we're going to be out of luck of what the teams played against. So got to have the faultiness of script writing and stuff like that. Without further ado, number 6, we got West Virginia at TCU today, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN2. West Virginia, TCU, both 3-1. West Virginia's loss is to Penn State, and TCU's loss to Colorado. But TCU's been putting up numbers on the offense, driving up and down the field. And this game is at TCU, ladies and gentlemen. West Virginia will have a tough time, but I believe in West Virginia to find a way to make this game interesting. Can they go and do the unthinkable, do the upset, beat TCU at home, and they can sing Country Roads all the way home back to West Virginia? Or will it be a sad trip home to West Virginia? You got to tune in for this game to see how it unfolds. It's perfect late at night, 8 p.m. Just think about yourself chilling, relaxing, having a nice cold one, and watching West Virginia TCU play. And our pick will be West Virginia. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in the 5th slot, we got Houston at Texas Tech today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 noon Pacific time on FS2. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at this, these ratios, we have Houston is 2-2 with a 1 loss on the conference record, with a 23% chance of winning, compared to Texas Tech, who has 1 game this year and 3 losses and lost 1 conference game, and they have a 76% chance of winning. I'm believing in Texas Tech. They got the short end of the stick in a couple of those games. I think they will find a way to take care of business, get the dub, and continue marching. So we're going to give the dub to Texas Tech today. Number 4 in the 4th slot, we got to go into the land of ACC. We got Pitt versus Virginia Tech today. College football, another 8 p.m. start time and 5 p.m. Pacific on the ACC network. Ladies and gentlemen, the ACC is slowly cooking up. Duke is undefeated right now. Pitt is struggling this year, and Virginia Tech is struggling this year. But I think Pitt has the way to do the upset at home against Virginia Tech. It's going to be a tough battle for Pitt, but I think they have the athleticism and a way to keep them in this ball game and a nice way to pull out the victory in this one. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have the number 3, the top 3 of our picks. If my screen decides to work, but what we have is Michigan State, Iowa, college football today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on NBC. Guys, classic Big Ten football, big defense, gonna put in some work. And we're just looking at the teams. Michigan State's 2-2 this year. Iowa's only loss was to Penn State in a blowout, but Iowa's defense has been solid this year, creating some key turnovers for them, stopping teams on critical drives. And I think Iowa at home is a no-brainer. Michigan State will struggle in this one. I'm going to give the victory to Iowa. Big games now. We're looking in the top 10 matchup now. Number 11 in the nation, going to Duke, number 17. College football, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. Notre Dame has come off of a tough loss to Ohio State. Let's keep that in mind. A tough loss. Loses on the 1-yard line with 3 seconds left in the game. And now people are saying, will this be an upset? It's very likely. Duke, first game of the season, stopped Clemson 28-7. Does Duke have something special to run through the ACC and just make an historical run for their program? Or will Notre Dame wake back up into reality saying, we got beat by a good football team? Now, yeah, I will say a good football team. That's how Ohio State played. They did some fantastic work. There's some ways to improve, but that was their first true road test of the year, and they definitely need that. It shows some things that we were exposed on, and Ohio State can fix that. But Notre Dame, they were putting in the work in that game. They were controlling it. They could have beat Ohio State, but they didn't. Now they're going into Duke, having the loss of Ohio State on their mind, losing by 1. Are they going to be in another classic shootout? Maybe. Will Notre Dame be fired up to beat Duke in a horrific beatdown? Maybe. A lot of things are at question, but I think Notre Dame will find a way to win this game, but it's going to be close because of the upset. I wouldn't say the upset, the tough loss to Ohio State, and that's going to be affecting them in this game. But I think Notre Dame will find a way to win it. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up for today's games is LSU Ole Miss college football, 6 p.m. Eastern today, 3 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. I have LSU winning it. LSU is, 3-1. I know Ole Miss is somewhere in that same category. I got chopped off their, wins for this year, but I'm going to go with LSU. I'm mad that my screenshots didn't work out, which is really annoying because I had really good statistics to help me break down these picks and why I lean certain teams. But it's going to be a short episode. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Ole Miss loses to Alabama last week. Tough loss. It was close, but then Alabama started pulling away, and then that was all they wrote. LSU, on the other hand, lost to Florida State at the beginning of the year and have been rolling ever since and haven't looked back. So it's a very open season in the SEC to face Georgia in the SEC title game, but you got to play one game at a time in the SEC. You got to make your games count and win convincingly, but also keep in mind you need your colleagues to do well to help your argument for the college football playoffs. So I'm going to give the dub to LSU in this one, even though they're going to be the underdog in this game with a 43% chance of victory. I just believe in LSU to get the job done. Without further ado, let's do a quick recap and we'll get you on out of here to enjoy the rest of your college football pre-gaming Saturday and college football game day on ESPN. So without further ado, let's do a quick rundown and we'll get you on out of here and let you enjoy the big noon kickoff on Fox as well. In the 6th slot, ladies and gentlemen, we have West Virginia, TCU, college football today at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN2. I have West Virginia winning it. Next up, Houston, Texas Tech, college football, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on FS2, and I have Texas Tech winning it. Next up, we have Pitt versus Virginia Tech, college football today at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time on the ACC network, and I have Pitt winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Michigan State at Iowa, college football today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on NBC, and I have Iowa winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 is Notre Dame, number 11 in the nation at number 17 Duke, college football today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. And lastly, but not least, LSU, number 13 in the nation at Ole Miss, number 20 in the nation, college football today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, and have LSU winning it. Let you remind you of our record. We were, for season 3, 22, 17, and 2. Going to keep our winnings up. I think we got a good selection for our wins this week. Make sure it's easy. And I wouldn't even recommend showing last episode because it's so old. 3, 2, and 1. So our picks have changed. So we're starting off fresh from a nice break, well rested, ready to give you more great 6 for 6 content. Enjoy all the games on college football on this Saturday, and we'll catch you next week's episode of 6 for 6. So long for now. Bye-bye.